Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Zalits, and in case you can't tell, yes, I've been sick. I have been battling a cold for these last few days, and that's why I haven't been uploading videos. I just couldn't because I was like, my voice was just way too nasally. It still is nasally, but I'm feeling a lot better, and I just wasn't able to make any videos these last few days or this past week. So it's been pretty bad. Like, first the holidays, came back, put out a few videos, expecting to be able to put out more, but then I don't think I mentioned that in the video, but at the gathering there were a bunch of children, from my relatives who were sick, and of course, like always, I'm just the unlucky one who ended up catching this illness from one of them. So here I am now. But anyway, that is not the topic of this video. Today we'll be talking about Prince Noctis Caelum Lucis, who is, I have to say, he's pretty cool. Like, I have to admit, after playing and seeing through his story and understanding the character a bit more, he's definitely one of the cooler characters. He's pretty much one of the only characters in the entire Final Fantasy universe who actually dies as a protagonist. So I gained a lot of respect for him, since Tidus is the only other one that I personally know of who is a main protagonist who dies in their own particular game. Now, technically, Tidus didn't really die. He just kind of faded away because he never existed to begin with. But, to me, he died. And, that's kind of just how it is. He died, all right? He died. But anyway, let's talk about what Noctis is and what he does. So he is a melee ranged attacker who also can set up for chase sequences. And we'll talk about that a little bit once we get to the command abilities. Let's look over his stat chart here. He has a 3-star base attack, which is pretty average. 3-star HP as well. Not too much. He's really lacking in the defense department. 2-star, but I don't expect him to have that much, considering that he's not. He's as normal as it gets for a Final Fantasy character. He has his abilities, but he's definitely not known for being a defensive character. He has a 4-star max bravery, which is always good. He's actually pretty fast with a 5-star base speed. As we know, he can teleport, so that's where most of his speed comes from. And he has a 3-star base initial bravery, which is okay. I don't really see a point in initial bravery on HP attackers, but it's fine. It is what it is. Over here in the stat table, we see he has a max at 4,000. Actually, he's gonna come out at 60, so he's gonna have a max HP of 5,322. It's all right. It's fair enough. It's a fair amount. 1,339 initial bravery. He's gonna have about 3,077 base max bravery, pretty high, and his attack is gonna be 680, fairly average, and his defense is also gonna be pretty low on that end, 744, which again isn't that important anyways. He's an attacker, so it doesn't really matter. But anyways, let's jump on into his command abilities, which is where he really shines, because this character is gonna be one of the strongest characters. Well, actually, he probably will be the strongest character in game once he's actually released tonight, because of the stuff that he offers and brings to the table for your team, and what he can do to set up for some crazy damage combos. Alright, so let's jump on over here. His first ability here that we see is Shooting Star. A 2-hit ranged bravery attack. Second hit also deals bravery damage to non-targets, which is kind of an AoE. Extra bravery attack on target while Armor is in effect. Armor is his EX ability, which we'll talk about here in a minute. Becomes Shooting Star Plus after inflicting break or attacking enemy afflicted with break. Alright, so a lot of stuff going on here, guys, and I'll kind of try and go through everything, as we progress through this. And I will say this before we continue on, that if you do not have his EX weapon, he is significantly less effective, because Armor, like the buff that it gives you, is super strong. It's going to be game changing, like for him, for not game changing for the game, but game changing for his kit. If you don't have the Armor EX ability, it's just not. He's just not going to be as effective. Like, it's that extra attack that he gets on top of all his other damage that makes him shine super like bright in this current state of the game. And without it, it makes it just makes him less. It just makes him less viable. That's just pretty much what it is. His next ability, or his next, well, the plus version, Shooting Star Plus, is a 2-hit ranged bravery attack. Second hit also deals bravery damage to non-targets. Alright. Extra bravery attack with the Armor in effect. After hit, moves next own turn to just before the target's next turn, except during summonings. Returns to Shooting Star after use. Condition after breaking or hitting a broken enemy with Shooting Star. Which, again, this is kind of just like skip meta. You're going to be basically using him to get ahead of your opponent. or ahead of the enemy, and you're just going to keep skipping his turns. So it's going to be very strong. Like Noctis is, he's going to be, if you use him well, he's going to be a very powerful unit to use going into the future, which is why I'm so I want to pull for him so badly, but he's such a risk. He's such a risk, and I'll explain why in a little bit here. His second ability here is Death Drop, ranged bravery attack, extra bravery attack on target while armor is in effect, and becomes Death Drop plus after inflicting a break or attacking enemy afflicted with break. And then the drop or Death Drop plus is a ranged bravery attack that gives extra bravery attack on target while armor in effect. After hit, moves own or next turn to just before the target's next turn, except during summoning, just like with Shooting Star. And it's pretty much the same effect. He's basically just moving and skipping the opponent's turn, and he's just gonna keep doing his own thing. So he's gonna be very fast. Like this is why I was saying earlier, this is why he has a very high, think of it as like a really high turn rate, except it's not really turn rate. That's what makes him so good. And then his other ability here is Warp Strike, is a ranged bravery attack plus HP attack, self 5 turns attack up, extra bravery attack on target while armor is in effect, becomes Warp Strike plus after inflicting break or attacking enemy afflicted with break. Condition, replaces Death Drop if Air Step Sword's passive is equipped. Okay, so you basically need the 35 CP, I believe, for this to work. So you do need his 35 CP for this to turn into Warp Strike, and then once you do, once you get this condition to activate, he gets Warp Strike plus. It is a ranged bravery plus HP attack, self 5 turns attack up, 1 extra bravery attack on target while armor is in effect. After hit, again, does the same thing, moves his next turn to just before the target's next turn, except during summoning, and that's of course after you use Warp Strike and blah blah. It turns back into Death Drop plus if Air Step Sword passive is equipped. So he's gonna have a lot of stuff to work with in this once he gets released. And this, like, again, this is only if you have all of his weapons. This is what's so important about this. You do need his weapons. They are very important to his kit, like more so than almost any character we've had to this point so far. And then his EX ability here is Armed Conjure. Armiger. Alright, so it's a 12 hit melee bravery plus HP attack. Self raises Armiger level by 2 for 5 turns. Armiger limit is 5. Extra bravery attack on target while Armiger is in effect. Usable while EX gauge is filled. Now, this is going to be super important. You need to have this Armiger ability active to be able to use Noctis to his maximum potential. That extra attack is going to be, like, it's so subtle. It's such a small addition to the attack, but using it is the difference between not capping and actually capping. I mean, I don't think I'm not sure if he will cap it now. Probably with a good setup he will cap, but it definitely is the difference between not capping and, you know, capping completely. So he definitely need that ability. That weapon. It's so important to his kit. All right, moving on to his passive abilities here. He has Shooting Star power. Slightly raises bravery damage dealt by a Shooting Star and Shooting Star plus. Always nice. Break speed up. Slightly raises speed for 1 turn after breaking an enemy. Back attack. Slightly raises bravery damage upon attacking an enemy that is not targeting the user. Always good. Death Drop power. Slightly raises bravery damage dealt by a Death Drop and Death Drop plus. Warp Strike and Warp Strike plus. Alright. Smash attack up. Slightly raises attack for 1 turn after initiating a chase sequence, just like Cloud. And I think, does Leo have this? I'm not sure. I don't remember if Leo has this. Shooting Star charge increases the max uses of Shooting Star by 1. Alright, buff speed up. Slightly raises speed while buffed. Again, one of the reasons why he's so fast. Death Drop charge increases the max uses of Death Drop by 1. And then the Prince's Will. Slightly raises max bravery and attack if HP is max when the final battle starts. And that's going to have, I believe it's going to have an artifact. So it's going to be very strong. Noctis is going to be very strong, guys. Very strong. Alright, and then with his 60 enhancements, which again, you gotta debate this really good. You gotta debate this a lot, guys. It's either Noctis or Squall. You gotta choose. You gotta pick and choose. Even though I think at this point we'll be able to awaken both of them once Squall's awakened. If you haven't already awakened another character that uses black crystals, but definitely gotta choose Noctis or Squall. But then again, if you haven't awakened anybody, or like if you chose Shantotto to start with, you gotta choose now, Squall or Noctis. Honestly, I don't know. I might just have to drop some gems on Noctis and try my hand at getting him. I honestly want Noctis, but it's just too big of a risk. And it's mostly because you have to pull for all the weapons, and it's just like, it's such a huge risk, especially with Sylphie right around the corner. I just don't know. I just don't know if I'm gonna do it or not. It's such a risk. But anyways, that's moving on. That's kind of off tangent. His first Crystal Awakening at 54 is all buff boost speed. Slightly raises party's max bravery and speed with active buffs. That's gonna be very good. I actually really like that passive. It's really good. Really, he's a good team player. Shooting Star extension, slight damage boost with Shooting Star Plus. When using Shooting Star Plus, knockback. Is it automatic knockback? I'm guessing that's what it means. It's automatic knockback. All right, so that's going to be really good. That's going to be a really good one. Buff attack speed, slightly raises attack and speed with active buffs. That's going to be very easy to maintain. And then his final one here is Death Drop extension. Death Drop use +2, slight damage boost with Death Drop and Death Drop Plus, slight bravery boost or damage boost with Warp Strike and Warp Strike Plus. Armor level +1 for 5 turns when using Death Drop Plus and Warp Strike Plus. Very, very good level 60 passives to get. He's going to be very, very strong with that. It's going to add so much to his kit. And Noctis is going to definitely be the heaviest hitter we have once he gets released. Like, nobody's going to be able to touch his damage. At least not consistently. Not even Cloud or Shantoto. Neither of them will be able to touch his damage consistently. Alright, moving on to his gear list. Again, guys, I cannot stress this enough. Noctis will not be good unless you get his weapons. His weapons are literally vital to his kit. Exactly the same way that they were in Final Fantasy 15 is exactly the way they are in this game. They are so vital to being able to do anything with this character. So his first weapon, or his EX weapon here, is the Rune Saber that gives him the Armor, of course, which we read about earlier. The Air Step Sword turns Death Drop to Warp Strike Plus, the Bravery Plus HP attack, and grants small attack up for 5 turns after using Warp Strike or Warp Strike Plus. And then his 15 CP here is the Engine Blade, increases the potency of Shooting Star and Shooting Star Plus, grants small max bravery up for 5 turns after using Shooting Star or Shooting Star Plus. Again, it's not going to be hard to maintain his passives because he buffs himself with his abilities. Of course, his weapons don't really give him too much because, you know, his passives and his combat abilities give him everything for him, so he doesn't really need to use or rely on weapon passives themselves. But they are going to be so important to being able to do a lot of damage. He might have the tools at his disposal, but without the weapons, he can't take it to the next level and, you know, really make himself shine without them. And then, of course, his armor here is the Prince's Fatigues, which is max bravery plus 220 and attack plus 72. Amazing. I always love these stats. Attack plus the attack and the max bravery. Perfect combo for an HP attacker. Always good. Always appreciate these stats. And now moving on to his artifacts here, we see Bravery Guard Up, raises defense power by 5% with braveries over 50% for 1 star, and then 10% with the 2-star version, which is trash. You don't want this. Now here come the big guns. The Prince's Will boost increases the effects of the Prince's Will by 2% and 5% with the 2-star version. This is what you're going to want to be going for, guys. This is definitely what you're going to be wanting to go for, because this is, I believe, is the max bravery and attack. So this is definitely what you're going to want to go for. Yeah, so you're definitely going to want that. Best passage you can get right there. And then his other two are Mighty Shooting Star, raises bravery damage dealt with Shooting Star by 5% and 10% with the 2-star version. And then the Mighty Death Drop, of course, is the raises bravery damage dealt by Death Drop by 5% and 10% with the 2-star version, which will become Warp Strike if you have 35 CP. So definitely, if I had to choose what artifacts I would want on Noctis, I'd probably be going for one-way attack, definitely the Mighty, and definitely the Prince's Will boost. And if I couldn't get the Mighty Prince's Will boost, I'd probably go for something like extra damage boost on one of my abilities, most likely on Shooting, or not Shooting Star, Mighty Death Drop, or of course the Warp Strike, because the Warp Strike is the one that gives the Bravery plus HP attack. So that is definitely going to be the one that I would go for as far as artifacts go. Alright, so let's move on over into the gacha simulator of this video, and we'll see what's going on over there, because I heard it's pretty good. Alright, and here we are on the gacha simulator for Noctis's banner. As you can see here, he is paired up with Irvine and Rem, and hopefully it stays that way. I don't want to see this banner bombarded with 3 extra characters on them, like we did see for the EX weapons for Cloud and Shantoto. That was, I'm not sure if that's the way it was on the JP side. I don't remember looking at that banner specifically, but I don't remember it having or being bombarded with 4 characters, but I could be wrong. But hopefully we don't get bombarded with the extra 3 characters on the side, because that significantly reduces the chances of us getting these weapons. So Anyways, let's go ahead and look at the spreadsheet over here, courtesy of Chris Inger. Thank you, dude, for always setting this up for me and always helping me out with this. This is an amazing time saver for me, and especially in the times of need when I'm sick and I'm vulnerable and I don't really want to make these videos right now because I just want to go back to sleep and rest and, you know, just chill out. But, you know, I gotta make these videos and whatnot for you guys. So, anyways, let's go ahead and look at what's going on here. So here at the top, we see that everything's on the banner, and the EX included. Of course, Rem and Irvine's EXs are not here. Rem gets hers later on, and Irvine doesn't have one yet, as far as I know, on the JP version. So I don't expect to see his anytime soon. Okay, so of course, let's explain this real quick for those of you who are new and don't really know how I do things here. So across the column over here on the draw attempts, this is how many draw attempts we're going to be doing to get one of each of their 15 CP weapons. So across the top here, we'll see like Noctis, Rem, and Irvine. And, you know, in each draw attempt, we're going to be trying to get one of their 15, one of their 35, one of their, of course, EX for Noctis, one of Rem's, one of Irvine's, you know, blah, 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 blah. So we're going to do that 10 times, and then we're going to tally up all the information here. And, of course, because Chris set it up, it'll, you know, automatically calculate everything for me as I put the information in. And it'll spit out a number, and then at the end, we'll be able to calculate an average amount of draws for each weapon here. And hopefully it's not that bad, but of course, you know, RNG is RNG. You might get everything on your first draw, and you might not get anything after 100 draws. That's just the way RNG works, guys. That's the sad reality of everything. And then, of course, over here is this extra information. I'll be tallying how many weapons, of course, I get for everybody over here. And this is just some extra stats. It's not really too important, but it's just nice to see like how often you can, or how often it's pulled on the simulator. But again, the simulator is not an accurate representation of the in-game, you know, RNG stats or whatever. Like, you know, just because you see something here on this simulator does not mean it's gonna translate over into the actual game. So this is just something that gets you guys, to give you guys an idea of what it's gonna be like, you know, going into this banner. But now that we talked about that, let's go ahead and actually get into this, because that is the best way to explain to you guys, for those of you who are new anyways, how I do things here. So let's go ahead and do our first pool here. Okay, so on our first pool, we got everybody's 35 CP. Alright, I would love to get something like this on my first draw in Global. Tell you that right now. I would be like, I would be extremely satisfied. Ooh, oops. Oh yeah, there we go. With this pool right here. I don't even know if I'd actually I'd probably continue to pool. Honestly, if I had a choice, I'd probably continue to pool. I'm not even gonna lie. I'd be like, okay, I'll pull again. All right. Second pool here. Second pool, EX weapon. Why can't this be global? Why can't these be my global pools? Like, what? Why? Like, you know, I do this on global, and I guarantee you I'm not gonna get this anytime soon. But anyways, we got his EX weapon within 2 draws. And then we got another Noctis 35 CP and a Rem 15 CP. So we'll put a 2 there and a 2 there. And over here, we're gonna put a 1 there. Was that 35 CP again? Yes. Okay, so we'll change that to a 2. And we got one of his EXs so far. And we'll continue to pool. I'll be surprised if you get anything more than 1 on these pools. Alright, so we got Noctis' 15 CP as well on the 3rd draw. And we also got another Irvine 35 CP. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this information in. So we got 1 and an extra 1 for... Oops, that is not a 2. There we go. Alright, now we're just looking for Irvine's 15 CP, and we can continue on to the next one. Alright. Alright, so another Rem 15 CP. Now this could take a little while. Hopefully it doesn't, guys. I'm trying to do this as fast as possible. And there we go. Okay, so we got Irvine's 15 CP there. Another Rem 35, another Rem 15. So I'll change that to a 3. I'll change this to a 2, and I'll change this to a 1. And this was, what, the 5th draw? Yes, the 5th draw. So, change that to a 5. And it doesn't seem too bad. I'll be honest with you guys, it doesn't seem too bad from the simulator. Of course, as I said before, don't get your hopes up for this. Because just because it looks good on the simulator does not mean it's going to look good when you actually go to pool on global or on the actual game itself. I would hope so, but the odds of it being the same way are slim to none. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and flip this up, guys, and I'll be right back with you guys once I finish. And we've completed it. Alright, guys, so, I mean, these pools aren't looking terribly bad, I have to say. Like, I mean, we've definitely seen worse, but for what it is on the EX banner, I have to say that the results are pretty good. Alright, so what did we see here? So for Noctis's 15 CP, we had a total of 60 draws, which is pretty high for 15 CP, of course, because whatever. Well, then again, we get one guaranteed 15 CP, so we can knock that out of the book. We'll get guaranteed at the end of his story, so I'm not too worried about the 15 CP anyways. If you can't pull it, don't worry about it, guys. Trust me. Don't really want to worry about it. If you can get it done with Power Stones, do that, because you don't really need to worry about it. You get one guaranteed. So 35 for the 35 CP, we had about 35 to get 135 total. For the EX, we had about 47. For Rem's 15 CP was about 41. For Rem's 35 CP was also 41. For Irvine's 15 CP was about 33, and for his 35 CP it was around 66. Irvine being the less pulled of the group. So let's see here. All together, with everything rounded up, with the calculations that Chris input to the spreadsheet, we got 6 total, or average, on average draws for Noctis's 15 CP, around 4 for his 35 CP, 5 for his EX, which, trust me, I do not take that for what it is. I can guarantee you some of you guys will probably just look at this and be like, oh, that's BS. Alright, look, RNG is RNG, and I said this at the beginning of the video, like, you know, you really can't look at this and, you know, say anything, because there are people who pull it on the first draw, but then there are people who will pull, you know, 100,000 gems and they still won't get it. So it's crazy, I know, but, you know, hear me out. This is just from the averages that we did across, you know, 10 draw or 10 attempts to get one of each. It's really not solid information. It's for what it is, for the information that we did. This is just the average that we got. Is it solid? Yes, for what we did. These calculations are correct for what we did. It is what it is. But as far as it'll go in reality, I cannot say that it will be for sure this way. I would I would hope that it'd be an average of 5. I'd be super happy if I had an average of 5 to get an EX weapon. But, you know, I cannot say for sure, guys. Just take it with a grain of salt. And then for Rem's, moving on, for Rem's 15 CP, it was also 5. For her 35 CP, it was also 5. And then for Irvine, his 15 CP was around 4. And then for his 35 CP was around 7. So essentially what we're looking for here, since I'm going to go back to the banner real quick, on average, we're looking to get everything within about 7 draws, guys. If we can get everything within 7 draws, it'll be good. I think it'll be good. Usually, when you can get everything within the 7 draws on the simulator, I can't say that it's the truth. I can't say that it's that it is, you know, gonna happen on when the actual banners come out. But, you know, I've noticed it's kind of like a luck thing where it's like, you know, we've been doing this for so long that usually when we get all the weapons within the amount of pools, it's usually pretty accurate on global when it actually reveals itself. But, you know, that's just superstition on my part. But anyways, on the first draw we got here, we got 2 Rem 35 CPs. Nothing for Noctis yet. Second draw we see in off-banner Zell, 15 CP and 35 CP for Irvine. Alright, still no Noctis. Alright, third draw we see Noctis' 35 CP coming out, another Rem 35 CP as well. Fourth draw coming in here, we see 2 Irvine 35 CPs and his 15 CP, and another Noctis 35 CP. As I showed before, his 35 CP is much more common than his other 2 weapons. Alright, so we're on to the 5th draw here, and we see his 15 CP and his 35 CP coming out. Still no EX weapon. Of course, that's above his average for EX, but again, like I said before, you know, it's an average. You know, you really can't rely on that too much. You really have to take it with a grain of salt. But anyways, we still have 2 more draws here. Hopefully, we can get it within those 2 more or within those 2 other draws. But here we see on the 6th draw another 15 CP. Let's see if we can get it on the last draw here. And no luck. We did not get the EX weapon within 7 draws. But however, we did get Rem's other 15, or we did get Rem's 15 CP, which means that we got every other 35 CP. We got the 35 CP for everybody and the 15 CP for everybody. The only thing we're lacking is Noctis' EX weapon. Let's continue and see how many it would take to get his EX weapon here. So I'm just going to keep spamming until we actually get it. That would actually be a crazy pull. 3 35 CPs for Noctis. Alright. Nothing yet. So this is the 10th pool. No. Yeah, this is the 10th pool. Alright, 11. Alright, nothing on the 11. 12. On the 12th pool is when we would have gotten a Noctis EX weapon. So again, you know, I really can't say that, you know, because this is another one of those outlier draws that, you know, like you see here on the spreadsheet, we had 2 really high outliers. We had one at 10 and one at 14, and this is just another one of those where, you know, this one just so happened to take about 12 to get. So it's another outlier. Am I saying that it's not going to happen on live? No, it can happen this way, guys. I'm telling you, I take this with a grain of salt. I'm not saying that you will get this within 5 draws. I'm not saying that you will get any of this stuff within any amount of draws. RNG is RNG, and that's all I'm doing. That's all I'm showing you guys here. That, you know, you could do all this. You could do all this calculation, but, you know, RNG it'll find ways to either give you everything you want or make you have the worst day of your life. That's pretty much the way RNG works. And then, of course, over here on the side here, we have the overall drawn weapons. I'll just go over this real quick. We had 21 for Noctis's 15 CPs, 30 of his 35 CPs, 16 of his EXs altogether. And then for Rem, we had 26 of her 15 CPs, 33 of her 35 CPs. And for Irvine, we had 28 of his 15 CPs and 23 of his 35 CPs, 20 off banners, which is surprisingly low. And then on average, we had about a 20% chance rounded up for Noctis's 15 CP, about a 28% chance for his 35 CP, and around a 15% chance for his EX weapon altogether across all the draw attempts. And then for Rem's 35 or 15 CP, we see she had about 25% chance rounded up. And then for 35 CP, she had around 31% chance to be obtained. Irvine, he had about 26% chance to get his 15 CP and around 22% for his 35 CP. But of course, again, those are just statistics for this, you know, for this simulator. I cannot, I'll just clarify, I cannot stress it enough. Will it be like this on global or what on live? No. But hey, RNG is RNG. Well, anyways, let's go ahead and look over at Noctis's trailer video that, you know, the DFFO Twitter team and not just the Twitter team, but the DFFOO team made for us, and we can see everything that's happening, and we can see his abilities firsthand. And here we are on the official DFFOO Twitter page. Now, let's go ahead and look at Noctis's trailer video. Of course, he'll be releasing tonight. All right, let's go ahead and look. Yep, the volume is all set. Let's go ahead and check him out finally. Okay, they got the FF15 music, epicness. Come on, let's cook something up. How about fish? There's a river nearby. Yeah, I'd prefer that than monster. Agreed, it will be easier to prepare dishes we're familiar with. If it's fishing, then count me in. Of course, Noctis is the good fisherman. You bet. One lunker coming right up. Noctis has a... Okay, so that's his shooting star. Shooting star plus. Launch. Okay, I like the damage. The damage is actually pretty high. Warp strike. Yeah, look at that. Look at the damage. Alright. Not that much. Warp strike plus. Yeah, look at that. See, he doesn't have the armor girth. I don't think he has the armor girth for that. But watch what happens when he uses armor girth. His abilities, I don't know if they're going to show it, but his abilities change completely. Look at the damage on the armor girth. It's so disgustingly good. I don't think they're going to... Yeah, they didn't show it. See, with the armor girth stacks... Actually, was he using those abilities with the armor girth stacks? I couldn't tell. Hold on. Let me go back to the... See, with this, it doesn't look like he has it. But it does at the same time. I can't... It doesn't seem like he has it. When he uses Warp Strike... No. And then with Warp Strike Plus... Yeah, see, it doesn't look like he has the Armor Girth stack. See, like, right there, it would have done an extra Bravery attack that would have helped him cap. So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why the Armor Girth is so good. That's why you need it. When you use Armor Girth, you get those Armor Girth stacks, and you get all that extra damage on top of the Warp Strike, on top of the Shooting Star Plus. It's going to be so good. Noctis is going to be so strong. Especially on top of the fact that he's going to be able to launch multiple enemies, actually, because he's going to be, you know, pushing them to be launched. Similar to Leo, except Leo isn't AoE. And Noctis can actually just start pushing them off really, really fast. So... I'm really pumped for this guy. His damage seems to be very, very good. Like, just look at this. This EX ability is just so perfect. So good. It's so good. I really hope that we get him, guys. I really hope that we get him today. If I pull, because I'm thinking I'm gonna pull. If I pull. I'm just hoping that I can get him early. I'm not going to try and spend too much. I can't afford to spend too much. But I know that with him, I'll be able to extend myself even further along into the game without having to worry so much about, you know, power creeping stacking up on me. Even though we do have a few awakened characters, I don't want power creep to overtake me like it has in the past. I want to try and keep up with the pace of the game, however, without spending everything that I have in the process. Alright guys, that takes care of Noctis' information video. Now, will I be pulling? I don't know. I'm really on the fence about it because I like Noctis as a character, and I feel as though he will contribute well to the characters I have awakened so far, like Yuna, like Vaughn, Tidus, those characters. As far as how good he'll be, I can see him lasting anywhere between 1 to 2 months before he gets power creeped by more relevant characters like Sophie and Kate Sip, because they just have an absurd amount of utility and damage and buffs and everything, and by the time Layla awakens, Noctis will be completely irrelevant because launch meta will begin once again. But anyway, I'm still working on releasing lost chapters, guys. I've just been sick, but I'll keep trying to put those out, and I'll get to Noctis' story event as soon as I can. So be on the lookout for all that, and yeah, until next time, bye guys.